This video is a solution to homework pages 370 and 371, basic graphs of sine and cosine. Y equals 3 sine x is in blue, starting at the origin, going up to a height of 3, back down to the x-axis, down to -3, back to the x-axis. In red is y equals negative sine x, so starting at the origin, I'm going to go down to -1, the height of -1, up to the x-axis, +1, down to the x-axis. In green is y equals -5 sine x. So starting at the origin, going down to -5, up to +5, back to the x-axis. In purple, y equals 7/2 sine x, that's 3.5. So starting from the origin, going up to 3.5, passing through the x-axis down to -3/2, 3.5, back up to the x-axis. So just remember your sine graphs always start at the origin, whereas cosine starts at 0, a, whatever the a value is. So in blue, y equals 4 cosine x is going to start at the point 0, 4. So it's going to start at a height of 4 on the y-axis. Then come down to -4, back up to the height of which it started at. In red, y equals -3 cosine x. It's going to start at the point 0, -3. And then at 2 pi, it's going to end at a height of -3. And in the middle, will be at +3. In green is y equals 2.5 cosine x. So it starts at 2.5. At 2 pi, be at 2.5. And midway between those two, be down at -2.5. In purple is y equals -5.5 cosine x. So it starts at -5.5 on the y-axis. At 2 pi, it'll be at that same height, and then midway between at a +5.5. Number 3 is choice 2. Number 4, choice 3. Number 5, choice 2. And number 6, choice 3. Number 7, choice 4. Now I'll go up and explain number 3. Which of the following represents the range of y equals 7 sine x? Well, this a value or leading coefficient of 7 tells us that our graph is going to get as high as 7 and as low as -7. So the range is from -7 to +7. Option 2. Which of the following is the period of y equals cosine x? Again, the period is the length of one complete cycle. And back from the notes on page 368, one complete cycle is a length of 2 pi. Number 5, which of the following equations describes the graph shown below? If you look at the graph, the first thing that should stand out is that it is a cosine graph, right? A sine graph would be passing through the origin or starting at the origin. This is definitely a cosine graph, and it's starting at 0, -3. So it is y equals -3 cosine x. Number 6, which of the following equations represents the periodic curve shown below? Again, looking at the graph here, it is starting at the origin, so it's definitely a sine graph, and it gets as high as 4, so it's y equals 4 sine x. And number 7, which of the following lines when drawn would not intersect the graph of y equals 6 sine x? This a value of 6 tells me that the range is from -6 to +6. And so what I have here is I just did a quick sketch of, put a 6, a negative 6, and then one cycle of the sine graph, but it continues, all right? These are continuous functions here. So x equals 8 would be about here, because this value here is 2 pi, and 2 times 3.14 is close to 6 point something, right? So x equals 8, which would be a vertical line, and so my sine graph definitely does intersect it. X equals 3 is another vertical line, maybe about here. Y equals negative 4 is this horizontal line down here, and our sine graph does intersect that. Y equals 9, it would be a horizontal line up above here, which is outside of our range for our sine curve, that y equals 6 sine x. Thank you.